Bit and polish. All right, going live.
We definitely, I've noticed on the numbers, we're not doing so well on the numbers. We're not, I mean, people re-watch it. I'm going to mute mine. There we go. Gonna hit it back in a second.
All right, we are live.
We're live. Well, I guess good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody that's hanging out. We actually made it like early. We're like a minute early.
I think this is the first time we've done that.
I think we might 88 episodes in. We actually
started.
That's good.
On time, but before time.
We're gonna screw everybody up. This is totally
nail it. Yeah, they're gonna be like, what? It usually takes them 15 minutes to get started. What's going on?
That was driving me. I mean, I think it was driving us on, that's audience included. So it's good to actually start on time. There he is.
Right at the wire.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, it's so scary. We actually made it early. That's we
are live, Mr. Evan. We are live.
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
Jumping right into it.
Let's do this.
How is Mexico?
Still here.
As in Mexico, or still here and haven't made it down to Mexico?
No, Mexico is still here where I'm at.
Oh, Mexico still. Oh, yeah. I know you're bloody down. You sent me a picture of the shark fin. Thank you. That was hilarious. That was much happiness.
Yeah, I didn't realize how
actually didn't
disruptive that thing. Yeah, I didn't realize how disruptive that thing actually was to dive with.
Oh, that shark
because
fin. Really?
Yes. Oh yeah, man. I got tangled a couple of times with things.
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was cool, man. It didn't make it out of the water.
There's another shark fin south of the border somewhere, joining its other two brethren somewhere.
Yeah, we had terrible visibility this week. I think I got 6 dives in, but really bad visibility. Cold, 62.
Yeah, that's getting to the point where you're gonna want to put a suit on.
Yeah, shouldn't stand light off. I want that up. I'm gonna discombobulate it.
There we are. Who's your hum?
Let's do this.
Oh, excuse me.
Get rid of that thing. So what's going on with you guys?
Got some good news.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, and it's I haven't told a couple of people so far, and that's about it. And I'll put the official thing out on Link to the Inn tomorrow. But I start a new job in a week and a bit's time on the 11th.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, man. Tell me more. What's it about? Oh, can you tell it or no?
Yeah, I can do. I get to look after the security of everything on the ground, and get this one, everything that's not on the ground for Boom Supersonic, the hypersonic lawn dart company.
That's awesome.
I like it. I like that.
I will be what the hell am I? Senior director and CISO.
Congrats, my friend. That's amazing.
It'll be cool. So yeah, guess he gets to fuck around with avionics properly this time around.
And I love that. I love that that's part of your story now. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing how the arc works, isn't it? It'll be an interesting one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, looking forward
to and it's going to give you all kinds of fun access, right? Because, hey, I got to work with the people and do the thing. And so the influence, I'm super stoked. I feel better as an airline traveler.
Well, that's kind of where their heads are on the whole thing as well, is they're very much a case of, because Boom's obviously leading the charge when it comes to like the innovative side of the world. Their lawn darts are rather spectacular, like seriously fucking awesome things. They've still got XP1, which is like the testing system for all sorts of stuff. The ironic thing is that thing's going to go up, go max something silly in one direction, max something silly in the other direction, land, and then that's it. Then they literally hang it from the ceiling and start all over again, building like the real sized one. It's amazing, some of the stuff. I've been kind of geeking out a bit on this one. And this lunatic gets to basically do my level best to make sure that I can't get into it, and neither can anybody of mine ilk or otherwise, and that all the intellectual property. Oh yeah, exactly. Challenge accepted. I know. Oh yeah. And
awesome. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Yay. So
awesome.
Evan, what I just heard was accountability, asset inventory, plans, backups. It's just
everything.
like, it's music to my ears. It's because I know I would trust Chris to design my security program. I know he knows. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's going to be
Hey,
fun.
one for the good guys.
And to your point, I get to lead the charge. And I think that's one thing in talking to a couple of the folks there. I think they were pretty excited about the fact that, you know, because of a lot of the stuff that we all talk about is a different way of looking at it. So getting to stand up in front of, you know, the industry and go, hey, one, remember me, but we're going to forget that. Secondly, hey, remember I told you we could do it better? Guess what? We're doing it better. We're doing it more effectively, more efficiently. We're doing it by reducing risk. We're doing it by accountability. We're doing it by, you know, all these other things that that should have been done, and some pretty innovative ways of doing it. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And you know, at the end of the fucking day, it's a hypersonic lawn dart, for God's sakes. I mean, holy shit, a carbon fiber hypersonic lawn dart. I'm so getting that thing to do a fucking barrel roll.
That's cool.
Everybody hold on. Whee!
Evan, how is the leadership week been?
Tiring. Yeah.
God, to be almost.
I love your honesty.
Fully.
I do.
Well, yeah, they corner you, you know?
Again?
No, they always do. They're like sharks. Should have had my fin on.
Sounds like you needed it, for goodness sakes.
Well, I told them I'm the easiest guy in the world to work for, and I'm also the hardest guy in the world to work for. I'm the easiest because you get to do, you know, you get to call the shots. You know, you're an executive, so, you know, be an executive and do what executives do. I'm the worst one to work for because you won't get a ton of direction from me. You know, I put, it's like the backyard, putting the fence around the backyard. Stay in the fence and everybody will be happy. You know, you get to be creative, you get to lead, you can have your own vision, you know, jump the fence, and you know, that's the only time we get issues. And they never jump the fence. So it's like, if they wanted more, you know, it was testy there for a little bit because they wanted more direction. I said, well, I seriously don't think you want what you're asking for from me. Meaning, if you want me to get in the numbers, I can do it. I know the numbers. If you want me to get in the numbers and start giving you numbers that you need to hit and things like that, I can do that, but I don't think you're going to like it. You know, it's not my natural leadership style. And I think you want more control over that stuff than I do. You serve the mission and everything that the new plans and the new things, all you need to do is just convince me how it serves the mission. And as long as it serves the mission, you're probably going to get sign off from me. You'll get some challenges like, how does it serve the mission? And is this the thing to serve the mission? But beyond that, you know, you get to have a heyday.
It's an interesting and beautiful experience. I cherish every moment of having the blessing of being in a position to work for you in that capacity.
Thanks, man.
I'm telling you, man, it's cool. It's cool because you can wake up and do the thing, and you know, you and I share absolute passion for the mission. So does Chris. And now the mission gets to get applied to airplanes. I'm stoked about that, right? Like, and it's growing, and like I gave a talk today, and it was, I would say 80% reframing the way you're approaching the problem, reframing the way you're talking about the problem, reframing the way you're engaging with the humans. We have all the bits and bytes and scans and things and such, and you can pen test, you can whatever. But if you don't have a culture, if you don't have a base plan, if you don't have a strategy for how this is everyday part of everyday business, right, you're pissing in the wind.
Totally.
You just are. And I hate to say that. And that's not to say don't do anything. Like, please, MFA and, back something up or throw it in the cloud, for Pete's sake, do something. But it just fascinates me how we're still back at that basic. And the mission is all about, for me right now, it's the fundamentals. Like Evan said, and I give you a lot of credit, Evan, you said, let's fix it. And I'm a fix it kind of guy. I'm like, shit, right. How do I whoa, that's a daunting task. Fix the broken. But I think the basics are still there. The basics still aren't right. So if we fix those, we're way better off to then do the other stuff. So freedom.
One of my biggest frustrations, man, is the way we overthink everything. You know what I mean? The basics, the fundamentals. I mean, we get all wrapped around the axle about, this is the way to do it. That's the way to just fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you're going to do versus the thing that I was going to do, they're probably both going to improve programs. So pick one. Rather than us sit here and waste God knows how many hours debating on whose plan is better.
Oh, I saw it. I mean,
by the way, my plan is better. Just
what were you saying, Chris?
I was going to say, and I saw a post again this evening. I was up on Twitter again, and somebody was like, things wrong with our industry. Number one, the overcomplication of something that's simple, and everybody puts their little flag in the ground, and everybody wants to do it their way.
Well, we're also damn smart, aren't we?
Oh, so smart.
I got a better way. I got a simpler way. No, it isn't. I hate to say it, it isn't.
I came up with a sticker. We need a framework for that.
No. No, I will not wear that sticker.
I swear, there's gonna be. I know I'm about to walk into like paperwork hell. The nice thing is they've actually got somebody pretty amazing on compliance. She's ended up talking with her as part of the interview process the other week, and really, really liked her. She comes out of a very interesting background, and she's got a head on it. It's one of those people. It's going to be really, really nice just to sit down with her and go, okay, how do we do this? How do we tackle this? How do we integrate this? And all those other things that go with it. So it's kind of nice. Charles is already, so it'd be kind of fun.
How big is that company?
At the moment, 250 to 200, 250 people. So yeah, it's a decent small size. They've got a chunk of money, obviously, from the investment standpoint, and they've got a pretty well complete hairy plane that's sitting in a hangar at 20, 25 miles from me, and it's going to be heading down to do some testing later on this year up in the air. And it's pretty cool. There's some amazing wind tunnel work and some really, really crazy shit that's going on. And the idea is grow it, and make carbon fiber lawn darts, fast carbon fiber lawn darts.
I like that.
I like it. It's JARTS 2.0.
Well, the irony of the whole thing is, you've been over to the house. I've got that solid model, that cast, whatever it is, cast aluminium, cast steel model of Concorde sitting on the desk over there, and I've had that for years. So it's kind of nice. And shit, when I learned to fly, because I used to have my pilot's license, when I learned to fly, we flew out of Bristol Airport, that one part of the military and the civilian part of it. And we flew out of there in Chipmunks, and parked right next to us was one of the experimental Concords. So it's kind of cool. It's I haven't had a chance to tell my mother yet. One will be talking with one's mother in the morning. because one's mother is obviously manic and crazy about airplanes, and because father was in the Air Force and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool. It's that whole, kind of come home to roost kind of thing. This time legally, without hopefully too much FBI involvement. Bless the little cotton socks.
Well, not yet. Give it time.
Right.
God damn it! You let that son of a bitch into this world, you asshole.
No. We said no.
No shit. Well, I mean, it's going to be really, really interesting. And I'm going to get hold of a couple of friends in DHS and all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking forward to it because, I mean, part of it is that whole leading the charge. And part of it's going to be, hey, there is a better way. Hey, there is a different way. Hey, if you take a step back, you can effect change. And it's going to be really, really nice to have those conversations. And I got to be honest, and this was not part of the decision-making process, when the likes of Panasonic and Thales are sitting over the other side of the table having conversations about how they're all wonderful, I'm going to look forward to having the conversation about, hey, one, remember years ago. Secondly, what have you done to change? You've had 7 years since you...
Hi.
Hey, You've had 7 years to change. You've had 7 years since I said to you, hey, your shit smells and it ain't a good smell, to do something about it. So now we're 7 years later. Now we're sitting down and that beastie over there with little pointy wings and stupid crazy shit, I got to make sure that thing both takes off and lands again properly. And I'm not going to allow the same crap on it you had. So what have you done that's better? What have you learned? So I'm looking forward to it. And same thing with supply chain. I mean, all that kind of crazy stuff with supply chain.
Concur, Dr. Dark Web. I concur.
Yes, doctor, can I advocate for auto tattletale? Because I know what the binary is supposed to be when I put it on there. And so if it deviates, can it narc itself out, please?
Dude, he doesn't understand binary. You gotta say binary.
Oh,
No, binary. No, it's
Yes,
actually
binary.
no, it is binary.
Oh,
Yeah, it is binary.
fuck English. Is hard.
Just saying, if I was to re-engineer how code got wrote, I would build tattletale mechanisms in that said, deviation.
Had a really good talk with one of their engineers. Again, part of the interview process, and we were talking about some fucking cool shit. They got some good. I love engineers, and to me, it's basically like Jesse with wings as opposed to Jesse with rails. So it's going to be kind of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward. They got some really fucking cool people, the smart as all hell people in there as well, and they have a flight simulator. What more could I want but a flight simulator that's hooked into the real thing? I'm like, play, make it go sideways. play.
Can I come over?
Yep. Goodness only. Well, I want Jen's dad up there. Down there, I should say. I really would love to get her father down there because of obviously his background, his knowledge, all those other kind of crazy things. I think the general idea is as soon as they've actually made the first proper one, I figure we're going to hijack the darn thing and take it for a joyride. That's really what I'm looking for. I ain't gonna be honest. So kind of later on later on towards the end of this chunk of years, we'll see if we can. I got, what have I got? What are we in now? 2022. So I've got probably 6, maybe 7 years to not just get my pilot's license, but also to get some kind of whatever the hell you have to do to get your hypersonic license. I don't know if it's like Formula One racing.
Is that a thing?
I don't think it's
that left over from the 70s?
No,
let's hurry up. Let's hurry up and define it.
It's
type in that market. Let's corner it.
It's type of. We should do that just for shits and giggles. Seriously.
What do I need? Just like an ANSI thing?
No, that would be good. That would work. Yeah, I'm good with ANSI art.
No, let's do it. Who's going to take the lead? Oh fuck! I have no time. You guys have.
Chris is taking the lead. I'll provide support.
I'm taking the lead.
I'll sign it.
Yeah. Matt said that.
I'm in the support role.
Matt's comment was that plane looks insane. So I am going to I'm going to get some more water and probably something very briefly to drink. And then we will have a lengthy, good and engaging conversation about how
We
how
can
I'm
just-
gonna take- hmm?
We can talk about accountability.
We're going to talk about accountability.
Yes, we're going to talk about freedom and accountability.
Oh,
Ooh.
those are both, dude. Those are both my jams.
You
I drive a
don't
pickup
get-
truck.
no, at this point, I'm kind of done. Nobody gets a choice. I am playing devil's advocate on this one. Nobody gets a choice. So
Nice.
I'll be back in a
It's gonna
minute.
get- It's gonna get.
I like
It's
it.
gonna get. It's gonna get hot in here.
Hot. Ooh, steamy.
It's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes.
I believe that's how the
I'm
song goes.
Yeah, I'm in Mexico. I can do that.
I'm
We
in,
don't have to wear clothes.
I'm
we
in
don't have to wear
cold
clothes.
Wisconsin, but I'll be in Florida next week, so I'm excited for that.
We're coming back down. Well, today's today. Oh.
Thursday.
Saturday, going home. But then I'll be back on the 11th, and John Kittelson's coming down.
Nice.
Serge, my Ukrainian friend, is coming.
I'm actually going to get a celebratory
Oh,
glove,
Josh Winder's coming.
something peaky. Back in a second.
That'll be good, man. I'm
Uh,
excited for that.
Bobby and Rachel are coming.
Nice.
We got a bunch of dives in this week. 6 good dives. I suck with the GoPro. I figured that out. Shit, I can't. I forget I have it on, so I'm like I'm scuba diving, and then all of a sudden I let go of it or something. And I'm just like, yeah, then, because you have a wrist strap, and it's just
Yeah.
dangling around, taking pictures of, or footage of my chest.
What you
this
gotta
guy
do
over
is
here.
the headband. Just
I do.
strap it to your forehead.
Well, I'm gonna get. They have a mount for your goggles, or
Yep,
my
there you
mask,
go.
so I'll put it on there.
Because then you always see what you see. So no matter which way you're looking,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then that gives that
Yep.
POV experience as well. So you can load it in the VR software. And then people who can't dive can put on the goggles and they can re-experience that.
Okay. We went to the wall. There's a wall right on the other side of Los Arcos,
Okay.
but the visibility was so shitty. I actually a couple times got slammed of a damn wall because it was pretty current was strong too. I saved John. I saved his head. He didn't realize that he was actually under an overhang.
Oh,
He was
no.
starting to come up. Yeah, he was starting to come up, and so I shoved my hand on, on top of his head. And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "That would cost you 50 pesos."
Moment's silence. We have just killed off a long row red Malbec, aged 13 years, peated Campbelltown.
I don't know what that means.
Last of the glass, last of the bottle, I should say.
What does that mean? What did he just say to me?
He was paying homage to a very nice and somewhat rare.
Very rare. All right, so
Must
As
be
you
a
celebrate.
hang
This
on.
must be a
hang on.
special occasion.
It-
This
it
is a special
is-
occasion.
Yes.
It's the day we found out that Chris is going to help make the mission infected into the DNA of airline safety.
Well, travel. I mean, not just
That's the
airline,
mission.
travel as a whole. You think about it.
You know, we have to measure it, right? You have to have an objective unit of measurement.
Not Delta. I mean, not travel as a whole. Delta is secure. Come on.
No, travel as a whole. We're going to do it right. We lead the way.
We're
Well,
let's-
NTSB doesn't specify what is what,
We're gonna-
right? So
do it right.
yeah, the
That's
right way.
no, that's work.
I know. And
It's a
people
lot
need
of fun.
jobs.
We're gonna have to think.
No, a few people think the rest just do. This is how we solve this.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll do it. Sign me up. Look, I'm way back here now.
Whoa.
Okay. Now, are we of a mindset to have a good conversation, or do we just want to talk generally around the houses this evening? I'm sensing a lot
No.
of squirreling.
I wish to talk about accountability. I'm always game to talk
We
about
can have a
accountability.
serious conversation.
Okay.
And plus, if you're gonna play devil's advocate, this will get
Right.
fun. I am pro accountability there.
Oh, I'm intrigued on this one. I'm not for giving people freedom. I am, and I'm somewhat devil's advocate, but I'm also somewhat a little serious on it as well.
Spoken like the red coat.
Shut up and get back to your hobby, you damn bloody koan.
Freedom requires accountability. The problem that I see with the way most people perceive freedom today is freedom includes lack of accountability, lack of participation, right? Because it's somebody's going to handle it for me. You know, freedom for me is you get to do and say all the terrible things. And because we're free, it's on me to make sure I'm keeping myself safe from you.
Keep it simple. Right? Freedom is the absence of accountability.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that either.
Not one bit do I agree.
At the moment it is.
Well, yeah, we're fucked up.
That's yeah, I would agree the current state of affairs, but freedom as I said this to somebody the other day. I said, do you remember when dumb used to get you dead?
Yeah, it doesn't anymore, unfortunately.
No.
Well, we don't let
scratch would kill you. You paid attention.
We don't let people dead anymore.
Right. Hence, I will go with the fact that freedom is the absence of accountability. In today's
No, I don't agree.
But I would also argue we're the least free as a people that we've ever been right now.
But we feel
as a U.S. citizen, as far as what you are allowed and not allowed to do, you are at your least free than you've ever been in the history of the country under the Constitution.
Right, because your sorry ass can't handle freedom. We tried telling you this
lawsuits
years ago.
No, because of lawsuits. Of lawsuits.
Hard to disagree with that one. Hard to disagree with that one. Evan,
somebody did something dumb. They sued somebody. What is
Evan, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm right here. What's up?
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then where'd he go? There he is. He's coming. He's doing something. So I don't know. I'm an advocate of freedom requires accountability, and you should be held accountable for the decisions you make. While I'm not advocating for violence, I'm also old enough to remember where you didn't do certain things and behave certain ways because somebody might punch you in the mouth.
Consequences.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a rose-colored view on the world, but
it's just like what I was telling you about the way I lead my team, right? There's freedom within the boundaries. Stay within the boundaries. Go outside the boundaries, and you're accountable for all the decisions you make inside the boundaries. So, for instance, if you have freedom to decide, what the goal is going to be for 2025, right? The sales goal. You have freedom to choose that, and then when you tell me that it's going to be hypothetically, $40 million, well, now you're going to be held accountable for that. You had the freedom to choose. And I think if people would, a lot of times people they can't keep their mouth shut for one, and they don't stay within the boundaries. There's always got to be boundaries. Otherwise there's chaos.
So let's take that a little step further, if you don't mind. Yeah. I was on a meeting earlier on today, healthcare meeting. Company wants to do something with accountability. So, hospital one you go into is $50,000 for the operation. Hospital number two, it's $150,000. They want to bring transparency and accountability. Now, this is a project that they've been working on, or that has been worked on for the last 10 years. They spent $10 billion of our money on this and have pretty much so got nowhere. They're just about to
I could have done a better job for $5 billion.
Hang on. They're just about to get another 10 billion to do it again and to try to get it right. So for that, you had your freedom. You were going to try and do it right. You're going to try and do all these amazing things. And you spent 10 billion and you failed. There's no accountability. There's another 10 billion coming to try to get it implemented.
Right. But they're not mutually exclusive. You could have had the freedom and been held accountable as well. So I don't think they're opposites. I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
But there's no consequences, and this goes back to what I'm saying. You got
And
10
there it
billion.
is.
Right?
Well, but as soon as you said that you're going to do something, you gave up part of your own freedom, assuming that the person you told it to is actually going to hold you accountable to it.
And I think that's part of the issue. We don't, unless it's to Ryan's point, it's the lawsuits. We don't hold people accountable. We sue them, unfortunately.
Well, and the only reason why you got to take away people's freedoms is because they're irresponsible. The only reason why you have to hold people accountable for shit is because they're irresponsible, because they don't do what they say. You know, you look throughout our industry and you look at all the false marketing, all the bullshit that goes on. If they could actually do half the shit, like the one I just sent you today, you're going to build a security program in 3 simple steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What
One,
the
two,
fuck
three.
what have I been doing for the last 30 years?
Right.
Shit. Where were you 30 years ago? You know, so nobody's going to hold them accountable to that.
Yeah.
So I wish people would, you know, a lot of times just, if you just, you know, just shut up, because then you don't lose your freedom in case I am going to hold you accountable, assuming I could.
And there's the problem, assuming you can. And I think that's part of the issue. We see it in our industry. We see it all over society. I'll tell you that my product farts unicorns, for crying out loud, and shits rainbows.
I'll do better. I'll make a superhero that holds a nebulous, misty ball representing a data breach being stopped. I stopped.
Hey.
Misty.
Fucking
It's the cloud. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the
This
cloud.
is going sideways. If you're going to start talking about my misty balls, man, come on.
Fucking clan strike, I swear.
I didn't say that. I said invented a
Oh,
superhero.
I didn't use the name. I merely I obfuscated it.
Oh, frozen.
We couldn't sell it with like straight facts, and now we're gonna do cartoon fucking characters.
I mean, now to a certain degree, I
And
actually
it's
I have to respect the trying to reach the average person, trying to build that bridge. Like, did you see what
they
Ryan
don't sell
Reynolds
shit
did?
to the average person.
Unfortunately,
You know, there's like half of our industry, like especially the up and comers, are gonna look at that and go, "Oh fuck, I want that." Not even paying attention to like what they actually do, or what, you know, fact checking anything. It's like, oh, but I like the robot guy.
Yep.
well, it's not just that. It's back to the promise. What was it? I mean, stop breaches, wasn't it? That was, if I remember right, it was stop breach.
And cyber risk, you can do that one too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's so again, freedom does not come with accountability. Freedom is the absence of accountability.
It actually does if you keep your damn mouth shut, right? Don't make promises that you can't keep, and just like treat people with respect, right? Play within moral boundaries, I think, you know, but you start to lose your freedom when you impose on other people, when you make promises that you can't keep, and you take advantage of other people, because then other people are going to stand up eventually because you're stealing their freedom.
So
freedom's like one of those things. It's like a commodity that you only have so much of. I got mine. I want to keep mine. So if you come and try to take mine,
but to Ryan's point, I'm not going to take it in one lump. I'm going to do what I'm doing because because I don't trust that you have. I don't trust, and this is somewhat reality and somewhat devil's advocate. I don't trust that you are responsible. You being the greater you are responsible. You're responsible enough to have that freedom. Therefore, I'm going to rein it in. I'm not going to let you do certain things. I'm not going to let you press certain buttons or go to certain sites or say or promise certain things. I'm going to restrict your freedom because I don't believe that you can handle it.
I'm anti-warning label. That straightens some of this up, right? I mean, I'm just saying, warning labels cost money. You got to spend money to print a warning label, which means many people have done it. Read a bottle of Windex where it says, do not use to clean contact lenses and do not use an eye.
Not that I want to get political, but a certain individual in power did advocate the whole concept of certain kinds of cleaning products for getting rid of COVID.
And yes, and he is representative of a generation raised on warning labels.
Right.
Right.
I know. And then you've got the Muppets nowadays. They're like the Tide, the Tide challenge. I mean,
Look, if they're gonna eat the
Yeah, I
laundry
did it,
detergent,
man. I fucking kicked ass on that thing. That was awesome. Really good at it
the
too.
vodka shot to the eye. I thought that was a fun one, drinking vodka through your eye.
What? No, I didn't see.
But here's the thing. Here's the sad thing about it. Why don't we just let them kill themselves? I mean,
Because
I
that's
don't
what
understand.
do
We
here.
waste so much of society's time and energy to try to, save people from being stupid.
Because unfortunately, stupid people generally end up hurting others as collateral damage in their stupid.
Right. But they'll probably off themselves well before they hurt others. I mean, if you're drinking Windex and
Yeah, but then what happens is the family sues the Windex company because of the warning.
well, that's the problem.
right.
That's the problem. Nobody wants to take accountability.
Right.
Nobody wants to take responsibility. Everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else all the time. Look at every breach.
So I'm
Right?
doing it for
It
you.
wasn't me. It was them. I mean, even the Okta breach. I was reading some of that, and fucking me. They used the phrase "out of an abundance of caution." I was like, did you really use that fucking phrase? I'm so tired of that phrase. That's like part of every damn template. It's like have some creativity, change it to something else.
Did you
It's just a
see the
novice
Wise
move.
camera one that got dropped? I think it was today.
I did. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like Wise.
Well,
too.
did you
That's
see?
that's-
Did you
that's
I
see?
know. I'm pissed. I love those things. They're fucking cheap as all hell, and they work.
Do you
Well,
have
they
the
take- and they-
torrent?
and
Hmm?
they take on the big guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Well, did
Cisco, Google, Amazon. Well, they'll be all right. They got to.
Did you, Chris?
still
Did
buy
you get a
the
copy of the torrent yet?
I have no
The
chance.
latest
no.
one that dropped.
No.
70 gigs of source code from our friends at Apple and Facebook, and
Oh yeah. Now I know which one you're on about.
huh?
Yeah.
Is Okta ground zero for all these?
Maybe. I mean, think of what they provide. And if
Hey,
I was,
but according to what I read, it only affected 2.5% of their customers, approximately 366. But it
okay,
happened
well,
to be Apple, Google, Microsoft,
I mean,
Samsung.
which affects 90, 100 million% of everybody else.
Oh, bless.
Yeah,
So
I read.
that's where
reading the
accountability
timeline.
came in. So, what?
No, yeah, no, I was just saying I was reading more in depth in some back channel shit on the Okta.
So let's take Okta. Let's take that as a prime example. I'm not going to rubbish the folks in our industry for a variety of reasons, but why haven't we taken those that chose to not disclose? I haven't read the full thing, but I haven't seen anything saying that we couldn't disclose because the feds told us to shut the fuck up for 3 months. I haven't seen any of that stuff.
That hasn't been part of it.
So why haven't we taken their leadership and literally tarred and fucking feathered them?
Well, we'll see. Okay, so you talk about accountability, and you and I have been in enough legal things
I know.
on all sides, and a lot of these things are civil, right? So it's preponderance of evidence and all that shit. So then you bring into account due care, due diligence, and all that shit, and then it's stay above the negligence bar, and you've got a case to defend yourself, right? And it's going to come down to whose lawyers are the most skilled and blah blah blah. You fall below that bar, that negligence bar, meaning what would a prudent person do in the same situation?
Yeah.
You have a much harder case to win, and you're probably going to be negligent, probably going to lose the case, and God knows what. You'll be Beth Jacobs. You'll be the CIO target.
I just had another one. Sorry, go on.
No, so you talk about this shit, and so the bar is set so fucking low in our industry because of all the cluster fuckingness that we do, that Okta has a legitimate case that they're not negligent based on what would a prudent person do? That's the herd mentality. What's the rest of the herd doing? Well, I'm in the herd, so I'm probably safe.
I had a conference call today, and I can't say who, what, when, why, where. A conference call today with somebody I've been helping. I've been helping them on and off for a while, and they're building a new platform. And I kid you not, the person that they've got on board for this thing, for basically running a bunch of the IT, told me that this day and age, applications that are on the internet really only have two problems: a little bit of cross-site scripting and some SQL issues. And those are
fucking
fixed
kidding me?
on the cats. And this guy had been an IT director and a fucking senior technical IT guy for 5 to 10 years. I
For a
kid you.
big company?
Hmm?
Was it for like a 3-person company or what?
No, fairly decent sized company. He was telling me of all the people, and I'm like, you're be motherfucking kidding me. I'm like, really? And then he goes to tell me that security doesn't need to worry about security. I mean, I could have literally reached through the screen and fucking slapped the living daylights out of him. I didn't, obviously, because I was trying to be nice, but I wasn't that nice. And I'm like, okay, and I mean, this goes back, and we can all come up with cases. This, I think, is the problem. No matter the facts are staring us in the face, there is no accountability. Therefore, why the hell should you have any freedom?
Well, I think the reason why there's no accountability though isn't because of freedom. I think it's because the money. There's so much fucking money.
Absolutely.
Changing hands. And because why isn't the FCC? Why is the FCC? Or I'm sorry, the FTC? Why aren't they enforcing rules and laws that are already on the books about false advertising? They don't do dick. Do they not understand it? Why don't we have like the simple basic shit like a federal data privacy law or federal breach notification law? Instead, we have 50 fucking states that all have their own, and nobody wants to step up. And then you got Biden making these executive orders that are like, what the fuck is this? Oh my God, dude.
So they got the new Privacy Shield agreement and the new European open standard that they're pushing to break up big tech.
Nobody gives two shits.
Well, it's gonna have an impact.
Well, only if one, you can hold them. One, you will hold them accountable, and two, you can't. How many lawyers does Microsoft have?
I hear you.
Full-time lawyers.
They got to pay for the pandemic somehow. I've got to imagine that they've identified a new revenue stream. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, what was the thing? Is it that the world's about like 2 seconds away from ending and that's why they're taking action? Or is it that everybody's gone bankrupt from the pandemic and governments need to recoup some money and this is some easy pickings because everybody's in shambles? Or maybe a third option, but that was the debate I was having with myself this morning in the shower. I was pondering why. I'm like, why all of a sudden did we go from don't give a shit to, hey, here's a bunch of new laws that we passed in 33 days that actually have teeth, that actually make an attempt to.
Well, you know what I think they're going for? This, the 80% of the market that we've always known is kind of just underserved or not served at all, right? Because big tech and the big money can't really figure out a way to monetize it well. So the way to monetize it well is to start using the federal government to start issuing guidance, to start issuing, laws so that they have to do it. So regardless of whether you want to buy my expensive piece of shit, like you like thing that is AI, blockchain, whatever things, you have to now. So. Good luck.
So again, let's bring it back in again. Freedom and accountability.
I have both. I feel very good about it. Thank you very much.
So here's the challenge. Let's take.
I'm not wearing pants right now. That's how free I am.
Let's take a step back for a second. Let's go back. Customize.
Or socks or shoes.
Go for it.
No, I'm not wearing pants. I'm free. I'm telling you, I'm free.
Okay.
Okay, now you go. I'm sorry. I interrupted you this time. I shouldn't have done that. You may hold me accountable and I will succumb.
Okay. Let's take a step back and go back, what was it, 5, 6, 7 years? Probably 6 or 7 years, when a certain individual bolted out, tried to get themselves to Iceland, ended up in Russia, and suddenly disclosed that there was all sorts of interesting surveillance programs, at which point 3/4 to 8/10 of the population threw up their hands and went, oh my gosh, people are watching me. We're watching because you can't look after yourselves.
No, that's not why we're watching.
That's where I'm going with this.
We're watching because it's control. It's control. And
It is control because you can't handle freedom. Because I give you the internet.
It's because I want to stay. It's because I want to stay in control.
Because if I don't, goodness knows what the hell happens. Y'all are going to push every darn button known to mankind.
Let's say I'm actually in control. I don't give two shits about that. I just want to stay in control.
I won't dispute that one at all because, and again, we can go Animal Farm on this one if we really want to, or somewhere else. Here's the utopic view, shall we say, not necessarily the totalitarian view, although the totalitarian view definitely has its appeal sometimes. The utopian view is everybody can have their freedom as long as somebody behind the scenes can keep an eye on things and have the physical and digital safety net. So if you want to leap out of the tall tree, you can have your freedom and you don't sue the tree manufacturer and I got a safety net for you. Or you can push every button on the keyboard 24/7/365, but somehow or other you still don't get infected. That feels like where we're heading.
Why does it have to be different? Why can't it just
I don't
be
agree.
driving? I have to have a license to drive. I'm accountable for my actions, but I have freedom. I break the rules. I kill myself. I kill others. There's consequences. There's accountability. Why can't we just make it like driving? I don't understand why we keep trying to make this. It's that smart and right shit again. Trying to be smart, trying to be right. It's like driving. It's a thing that can hurt you. We should just apply the same standard that we do to other things that people are allowed to operate that can hurt you. And the higher the level of hurt, the higher the level of qualification for its operation.
Because people aren't being hurt enough in the real world yet.
That's
I agree with
thing.
that.
Yeah.
It's a comment.
Oh, and my concern is it's going to hit us like a fucking Mack truck. And how many are we willing to lose to prove that point?
But Chris, you're British. You should want to go back to the 1700s.
No taxation without representation.
Right? A little reset button action.
Oh, freaking, what is it? Who's got the live free or die? Who is that? Is that New Hampshire?
I think it's New Hampshire.
Somewhere up that neck of the woods, isn't it?
Oh, hey, by the way, you know how you guys constantly give me shit about not having an iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an iPhone?
I want you to know that my 0 days are finger licking good. And y'all been home for weeks, kernel access for weeks, potentially months.
I'm just going to say one thing.
I haven't had my phone on for weeks or months. You've tried to text me. Did you get a response?
Well, that's different.
I'm going to just say, one slip up on Apple's part does not.
Yeah. But you know what? The risk profiles are different. See, Apple made a slip up and you're in a higher state of comfort using the device because it's Apple. And so that slip up was more impactful than I, who use an Android and constantly assume it has the plague on it.
But that's you.
That is a long line of logic right there. You got to simplify that.
Hell, let's face it. Yeah, let's face it. We're all in a heightened state of what the fuck anyway. It doesn't matter what electronics are. We had somebody in the lab for a little bit today and we were talking and their watch answered. I'm like, get that the fuck off and get out of here. Yeah. Like that shit does not belong.
Come to Mexico, guys.
One day, maybe.
You can live with me.
Give me a few years. We'll fly the lawn dart down there.
Well, there's so little tech down here that's really easy to find. There's no like needle on a haystack. It's like, there's a fucking needle and it's huge.
The circle needs people. Oh, the circle needs people to be hurt. There's a Matt put a mess. I'm slightly confused on that one. No, so okay, Ryan. I mean, give me how many people? How many people are going down on this Mack truck before before people will realize, or before we put the driver's license for the internet in place.
How about this? 2 of the right people.
What's that?
So I can kill how many? So that you're now telling me I can kill off about 300 million Americans at least.
No, I said 2 of the right people.
Oh, I can only kill 2?
If 2 of the right people got taken out by digital means, I believe that's significant enough to start to tip the scale. We don't treat everybody equal. You know this, whether it's in this country or any other. The legal system, the justice system, the what gets prioritized, where the money goes.
You'd have to take out the power structure because the people are too sheepish. They're sheep now. You can, if you have the right message in the right way, and you can get people to do whatever the fuck you want to. I mean, this is the heyday for social engineers. I can't believe Chris had Nagy. It's got to be.
What I don't remember if it was if it was Odin, the NSA or CIA, but they put out a bulletin that was like misinformation. Here's what you need to know about it, and I about shit myself.
Right, and people are like, "Oh,
like, really? You of all people are gonna kill?" I mean, you should pay attention. It's definitely factually accurate, but
it's like the FBI put out a bulletin. Russia's ramping up its cyber operations. I'm like, day late, $1 or $2 short.
Yeah, no, they put 4 government agents on the most wanted list.
4.
What was that?
4 Russian government agents just went on the most wanted list.
Oh, they did? Oh, you get to go shopping for more people?
What were you saying, Evan? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I mean, the Russian, I mean, you knew that they were there already, sort of, you know. I don't know, fucking Russians are fuckers.
No, I actually, most of the folks over there, I've got a shit ton of respect for, and I got a lot of time for as well.
The only thing I'm worried about with the Russians is that they're going to poison me.
They seem to be very, very good at that.
Exactly. Yeah, the other shit, I mean, they're, whatever, don't get me started. Russians we way overestimated their capabilities. And I think we way overestimated their capabilities militarily and not just kinetically and electronically. They've made so many fucking mistakes. There's no way you can tell me that they're anywhere near as capable as the public thought they were.
It's definitely opened up more eyes than everybody thought. I'll tell you that for nothing. We have
surprised the intelligence community. I mean, the people that I talk to are like, yeah, fucking, we're surprised as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's it's definitely taken a lot of folks by surprise. The one of the mightiest. Anyway, we are squirreling a little bit. I just want to point that one out.
Well, but not so much. I mean, there's the accountability on that side too, right? I mean,
true.
Let's say that something big does happen, right? Let's say, I don't know, hypothetically 40,000 people die. 50, 100.
Yep.
Pick a number. And it was the Russians. You know, they can't do it because they're a bunch of pussies, but let's say they weren't. And they did something like that. And what would we do? Would we hold the Russians accountable? Would we launch something ourselves? I mean, I don't know. I don't think we would. I mean, I just don't think it really depends on whose finger's on the button. You know, it's their own skin. And, you know, I'm happy being in control. I don't want to give a shit if the city's burned.
I think we grossly underestimated the impact of TikTok on a global generation of 20-year-olds and then gave them rifles and said, go fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're seeing isn't the Russian people. You're seeing the global 20-year-old. TikTok in Russia is the same TikTok in America. I mean, there's small variances for cultural, but essentially it's the same. I've seen the dances in just about every language you can imagine.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of the low morale, you know, how much of this is I don't want to do it either, right? Like there's a lot of that.
A lot, yeah. We when we were in Bosnia, there was a fair amount of that, depending upon which side and honestly which village and which area you were in.
Well, and I think a lot of the old men in charge still look at the world with the old set of eyes, and they don't see the shift. They don't see the thing, the undercurrent that digital has done, the impact that it's had, the, you know,
back to the freedom conversation. I mean, that
people
is
were texting their people from the front lines.
Yep. Yep. And that was great for us because triangulation's a bitch.
Right. But like that wasn't a thing in World War II. You maybe got to send a letter every whatever, you know, month or so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think part of it is we, in many areas of our society, to the point of freedom and accountability, we have not adjusted and compensated for the digital world that we now live in. Back to the life skills. We haven't made the pivot, and socially we haven't pivoted. Technologically, we're further ahead than we're capable of handling. Did you guys see Elon is ready to download your consciousness into his Tesla androids?
Oh yeah.
I signed up for the beta.
Did you? Whose consciousness are we putting in it? Because it ain't going to be yours.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun with that one.
No, I want to see if they can figure this fucker thing out. I don't think they can.
I'm gonna go with.
They know math. They know math. They can figure this fucking shit out. Man.
Well,
I've lived with it. I've lived with it for 51 years. I can't figure it out.
Got to defrag it on the way in.
No, it is interesting on that one.
Okay, so now let's talk freedom for a second. If my consciousness is in a robot and the robot malfunctions because the base code that runs the motors that my consciousness is interacting with, who's liable? Should I have the freedom to do that? What rules are we going to apply to my robot self? What different
Dude,
rules?
I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, I've been preaching for a long time that we've adopted technology way faster than our ability to use it responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody fucking uses their digital shit responsibly because, you know, us, and that was one of the things that irritates me too is, you know, we have wisdom. We've been in this industry for a long time. We remember the simpler days. We remember when we took pride in the way we configured things. I took pride in the way I configured every firewall, every switch, every load balancer, everything. And we were pushing the envelope on shit that people hadn't done before. But we took pride in it. And now you can't even, I think even if you wanted to, I complain that yeah, you're not using the firewall the way you're supposed to use a fucking firewall. And I'm mad about that. But then I realized that one, you probably don't know how to. And two, you're not enabled to. Even if you did know how to, you don't have any time. You don't, you know what I mean? It's just everybody accepts irresponsibility. So to Chris's point about, and I see where he's coming from for sure about freedom and accountability being certainly related. I just don't think they're mutually exclusive.
And that's why the opening statement was, you know, freedom has got to the point where it is the absence of accountability in society. And has technology accelerated that? Absolutely. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, because in 1980, bike helmets, what are those? Right? I mean, it's just the super safety culture created the bubble. But then when we got to digital, we no big deal. I mean, have you guys ever seen a modern plastic bag that has every warning of every way in which not to use the bag?
I'm going to share my screen for everybody to see this.
But you know, the crazy thing is the people you're writing those warnings to don't know how to fucking
reading
read
them.
Well, they don't even know how to read.
This came from Jesse, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'll leave it up on the screen for a bit so everyone can get a copy of it. It's absolutely, and so people can take screenshots of it. And this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yep.
Just give them more shit, give them more shit, give them more shit. Well, and that's the theory too. So I've always had this theory that for every, and you know, the numbers don't matter. The theory is what matters. For every problem a man fixes, he creates two more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying the numbers don't matter because it may be 10 more, maybe a fucking 100 more. But we go out there and try to fix a problem. And because we don't approach the problem in the right way,
And maybe it comes down to motive. You know, if I do it a shortcut way, you know, I can make money off of this, so I don't give two fucks. If I approach it the right way, meaning I truly want to solve this problem and I can take it into context and not create others, that's a lost art, I think. Yeah, fuck, man.
So, all right. So let's play this out a little bit further. Let's go a little further down this rabbit hole. I think we've agreed technology has taken us further and further away from accountability. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
1000%.
Yep.
Okay, so technology has taken us further away from accountability. How do I, in effect, manage that risk? I manage it. Hang on. I manage it in my eyes by restricting your freedom.
Okay. I want to back up for a second. Technology is taking us.
You or the government?
Oh, let's just say one and the same and all of the above. Basically, whoever's behind that. No. Whoever's behind the green curtain, and that could be the person in charge of the company. I would almost. I know we can't interchange that between the government, but I'd interchange somebody running the company from a security person, somebody looking after make sure the lawn dart lands properly, somebody who is ensuring the integrity and the safety of the critical infrastructure running the village, the town, the city, and arguably, potentially the government.
So I'm gonna back it up.
All right.
Technology has separated us from reality. The separation of reality has led to the lack of accountability.
You got to look at who's behind the technology, man.
So to that end, right, again,
I do not want them making the fucking rules.
but if you're going to create an unsafe thing, then we need the life skill to use it safely, or you don't get to create the unsafe thing.
Or I put barriers and I put rails and I put guards
back to driving, fine, guardrails. So if you ever drove through the mountains of Arizona, go to Superstition Mountain.
My neck of the woods.
Right. So piles of cars, because guardrails don't go up after the first one goes over,
right.
Or the second, or the third, or the fifth. Right. And we do that. But guess what? If you're driving like a jackass, you can blow clean through it and still go over the edge. So I think we need to do more. I don't think the government, I don't even like the level of control they currently have.
No. You don't double down on the people who caused this problem. You don't double down on solving it. Microsoft caused this problem. Big tech caused this problem because of their lust for money and power. There's no other way to put it, because why would you continue to put guns in the hands of kids and not teach them how to use it? How much money have you spent on actually teaching people how to use things responsibly versus just selling you shit, regardless of whether they need it or not?
But people want it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I want a lot of things. That doesn't mean they're good for me.
Well, and some of those people that, I mean, and some people, I mean, we can't save everybody. You know what I mean? Some people just, you sort of got to let go.
Yeah, but those
there are people that are going to die for the greater good.
Right.
Well, and let's keep perspective that we have an American view on this. It's very hard to sue people in other countries. There are plenty of places in this world where dumb still gets you dead.
Yeah, no,
right?
And I think there isn't, as terrible as it might sound, I do believe I'd actually rather put about 9/10 of the lawyers in a field and just bomb them, to be perfectly honest. There are some good ones, but there are some absolute muppets out there that do nothing more than chase ambulances for the reasons of chasing ambulances.
You want to create a change.org petition? I'll sign it.
I wonder if that would actually get past the
censors.
My gosh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? World's Platform for Change. Wow, there's 482 million people are taking action. Start a petition.
I will sign it and I will donate.
Oh, a whole bunch of of course, it's Transgender Day today, isn't it?
I didn't know there was a date for that.
Apparently there was. Oh no! Hang on. It's non-binary day today. I don't remember the exact I apologize to anybody who's listening. I don't remember what the exact words for the day are, but it is. I was just looking at some of the trending
And
stuff.
I'm not. And that's another thing I think that our society is just. And I'm not. I don't want to be controversial. I don't judge. You know what I mean? Anybody who knows me knows I don't do that. But when you make anything non-binary, you make it confusing. Because now you're talking about on an analog signal where I don't know where you're at in any given point. Right? When we're binary, the way computers work, right? You only do what they tell. They only do what you tell them to do. So it's very discrete. It's very easy to control it. It's when you put the human being in front of it. And so it was simpler. The days were simpler. And it's hard to argue with it. And I'm not saying I'm taking one stance or another. But the days were simpler when it was binary. It was just simple. I'm not saying for better or worse.
Simpler times of, there was expected courtesies, expected behaviors, expected accountability. You were accountable. Talk to anyone born before 1970 and they will tell you all about how you didn't do it because somebody was going to see it and you were going to get your ass whipped once, twice, 3 times, and then you got home and you got your ass whipped again. And again, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for accountability. The way accountability was delivered back in the day was with a backhand to the face because it stung and it was a consequence and you learned your lesson. And now we've got companies that just pay fines to continue breaking the laws that are not enforced that should absolutely be enforced. I mean, I'm waiting for a cybersecurity company to come out and say they can cure cancer. Oh, wait, they won't because you can't do that. And if they did, there's another organization, the FDA, that's going to come after you.
They'll figure it out. They'll infiltrate the FDA too. And
nebulous gray cloud.
I don't understand how the FTC doesn't step up. It still baffles me.
Lobbyists, you know how much money?
Well, that's the thing. So back to Chris's point too, man. I agree, man. If there was somebody that I could trust to take control, but the things and the actions that they would need to do to build that trust would be things to do for the greater good. And the things I see coming from big tech, the things I see coming from the people who are in power are not for the greater good. They're for the good of themselves, which is a sick leadership style. It's a selfish leadership style. It's a leadership style where I maintain control from hell or high water. I will make you feel like it's for you because I'm going to make you feel that way. But it's all just smoke and mirrors.
All right. So where do we go? If I give you your freedom, there are consequences. If I take your freedom, apparently you get all bloody uppity about the whole damn thing. So do I give you the illusion of freedom?
No, you give me freedom and then you hold me accountable. You got to establish boundaries.
But I can't hold you accountable. That's also part of the problem.
All right,
but if you're in power, you can. That's the problem. The people that are in power are the people that we need to hold accountable ourselves to hold others accountable. It's by proxy.
I've talked about that on the show before, how the voter has advocated their responsibility to hold the elected official accountable. The privacy guy in me hates this. The security guy in me loves it. We need a digital driver's license. If you're going to be on the internet, I need to know you're qualified to operate it safely.
How often do you update it?
I would sign up for that.
Well, a hell of a lot more often than we update the physical one, because plenty of people need that thing taken the hell away.
Well, but I would venture to say not just the user. What about the people making the shit? Where are your safety standards?
And there goes the next piece of why the automotive.
Where's your airbag? Where's your seatbelt? Where's your fucking shit?
Right. Exactly. So we hold them accountable. You cannot sell a car in this country or a plane in this country that hasn't met a certain level of safety requirement. Now, you can get away with some stuff. You can add switches and not tell the pilots about it. And,
you get in big trouble for that.
You can design.
Cost them 2.5. Here's the fucking thing too, right? You talk about accountability, $2.5 billion. That's all it costed. No criminal charges. And we went to jail for that.
Right.
He killed like 300, 400, 500 people.
Yep. Oh yeah, and they lost another one. That one, do you see that one that was that came straight down?
Yeah, but at least that wasn't a max.
That wasn't a max. That was an 800. Yeah, not a max. And now they're trying to figure out what the hell's happening with those things. So
if your aerodynamics require compensation, your aerodynamics are wrong.
yeah. Okay, no, I'll argue with this one. Okay, on the commercial side. Now so if you look at some of the modern,
That's
stuff.
different. I want a bus. I'm not talking about a sports car. I'm talking about a bus.
Yeah,
I
it's on the bus.
want
Go
to be
round
safe.
and round.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. I mean, some of them are designed, but they have, goodness knows how many freaking systems.
Well,
Yeah.
according to my nifty little credit card sized satellite antennas, all kinds of them.
Yes. Oh yes. I'm intrigued to see how this one works.
I'm having a hoot. I'm having a lot of fun learning it. It's been my geek passion. I built a Goes dish before I left the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, once in a while I go through a geek phase. I'll do the Legos. Legos are on pause right now. I'm geeking out. I'm doing some tech stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'll blacksmith because I'll be tired of tech. So I'll go old school.
I'm back on the car thing. I'm tinkering, should we say? Although our favorite and friendly agricultural organization just announced today that apparently they have gotten the fully autonomous 24/7 365 $500,000 tractor to run effectively, and they'll be taking over the farms of the Midwest from later on this year. At which point, I will be taking over the farms of the Midwest from later on.
Right.
Yeah. All your farms belong to us. Bless their little I think they're still running it from the same two SFTP servers. I've probably still got the damn cert floating around somewhere. I'll have to find out. I do actually. Let me rephrase this. If my new employer allows me to research terrestrial agricultural technologies, then I'll start messing with it a little bit. I don't think they're going to mind too much as long as they don't piss off John Deere too often. But
that's not who I would. I mean, it's a thing, but I'm far more concerned with those guys.
No, I'm with you on that one as well. They got some interesting stuff. I interviewed with a robotics company as well. I had a really, really good couple of conversations with one of the big robotics companies that do some interesting stuff. And had a long conversation with them about a number of different projects and things and stuff they want some help with, but that ended up not going anywhere. Not that I want to get, not that you want to talk about freaking accountability and freedom and all that kind of stuff. Good grief alive. When you have a company that says, hey, we're part of the mothership, but we're absolutely separate and we're amazing and we're wonderful and we're great, and you believe them, and like 10 interviews later, they're about to extend a job offer, and then the mothership goes, well, the fourth quarter is just around the corner and we're going to have to wait a few months. I'm like, you motherfuckers. So yeah, freedom. No, freedom comes with constraints, and so anyway, freedom. I'm not giving you any. I'm sorry. You, the general public, do not get freedom in my digital realm. I will not.
How about if I'm responsible?
No, you're not going to be responsible. I do not believe.
Then I will rebel. I will overthrow you, just like I overthrew the Red
Good
Coats.
luck. That shit isn't going to happen because I'm going to silence you. I'm going to silence your digital world. Do you want to stand a chance?
I'm moving to Mexico.
Facebook, fuck off. I'll take you off the damn system.
You've never seen Mad Max, have you?
I don't want Facebook. I got Doritos.
Chris,
so.
I mean, I know your movie.
All I need is Doritos.
Yeah, your pop culture is low. Have you seen Mad Max? Go ahead, turn off the digital world. That's what we're gonna get.
I would love to do that just for like 48 hours. I just want to turn it off.
It doesn't even take that long.
Oh, I know. Somebody can't get their Amazon Prime, or somebody can't get their Netflix or their Facebook.
I was telling a friend the other day, I said, it's probably advisable to follow the basic recommendations, a little bit of extra food, a little water, a little extra fuel, whatever. I said, when the lights turn off, you're going to find out which one of your neighbors has been waiting for now.
Oh,
We have concertine wire. They're gonna be running it across the street. All of a sudden, a flag's gonna go up. You're like, what the hell?
I really feel bad for my neighbors because my neighbors know kind of what I do. And I think they probably dread if the lights go off, at least Mark over the fence would be fine because he'll just hop over the fence and we'll go raid the rest of our neighbors. I mean, it's as simple as that. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm going to hunker down for a while and I'll feed off of my neighbors.
Yeah, see, we've talked about this. I'm taking the opposite approach and creating the community so that it takes longer to get to my house, more bodies in the way.
Oh, there'll be more bodies in the way. I mean, it's fine.
And I told you what, and I'm taking the long route on this contingency plan, actually doing the Mexico US thing. So no matter which one goes to fuck, I got the other one. And I'll run comms support for you guys.
Gary,
I got three
sorry,
comms channels. I got 3 comms channels now coming. I got fiber coming, Starlink, and
you got the SAT system to line of sight.
it won't be long for me to tap into the microwave tower over there.
Those are actually fun to mess with. There's a I haven't messed with it in a few years. There was a microwave ring running around Denver once, and just I got free access for a couple of years off of that one. Was useful. Gary said
and that's a government network, so they'll keep that one up.
Oh yeah. Gary said it. Revenue removes any separation, no matter how much they say you're going to have freedom. And it's right. I mean, this is my concern. No, it's actually not really a concern. I mean, I think it is a concern. I mean, this is part of the reason that this episode is here, is because I still have a level of frustration over the fact that people rebel when we're watching certain things. People get uppity and pissy because we're watching. I'm like, well, what the hell do you expect me to do? You're all out there fucking pressing every damn key and accepting everything you possibly humanly can, despite the amount of times I tell you not, or despite the amount of times I ask you to ask another question or two.
Yeah, but
you still go out there to harm yourself, and my job's to try to look after you, muppet.
Yeah, that's what you do with the data, but then there's what other people do with that data.
Yeah, I know. I can't.
And that's where the problem lies. It's not, I don't mind if you're tracking who's freaking ordering particular large volumes of chemicals. I think you should track that. I do.
Right.
I think you're right. I don't think you should overly restrict, the science research, and they don't. If you go through,
no, they don't. They definitely don't. Now, if all of a sudden, and it's correlation, it's
right.
it's
start
basically
ordering X and Y and Z in short order, and yes, that kind of stuff. But the data is being used allegedly. Where's my Reynolds wrap? I don't have any at the hotel here. Let me wrap my head in tinfoil. Allegedly, the data also gets fed to psychological warfare groups for better understanding of how to manipulate societies, gets fed to.
But again, okay, so so hear me out on this one. And I actually have no problem with that. Because I came back and, okay, hold.
I know, I don't like that kind of power in the hands of people I don't trust.
Oh, hush for a second. Look, there's a good reason for it. Just shut up, sit down, and step away from your keyboard. And put the tinfoil away. Here's the thing. So I came back from a bunch of situationals, I got a very nice accommodation, all that kind of good craziness. But I came back from a bunch of that stuff here and not in this country recently. And we're preparing for, unfortunately, the next potential escalation of the current situation. And that escalation is pretty critical. So I want to know what the population is going to do. We have a pretty good idea. Hang on. I want to know not just what population en masse and this and that and the other, but I want to know what general areas are going to do. I want to know how people are going to move. I want to know how people are going to react. I want to know more effectively if A, B, and C occur. How effectively can I get people in? How effectively can I get people out? How effectively can I operate? Or do I just gas every motherfucker and just be done with it?
Okay. So this is a read versus write problem. I have no issue with you. You know exactly what I'm saying. It's a read versus write issue. Because once I have half of the coin, I have the other half of the coin. And that's where the problem lies, is in the way in which it has been weaponized for
Yes.
capital gain, that's been weaponized for political manipulation, dissension, division. I mean, back to something I said earlier, when the intelligence community is warning you about misinformation campaigns, something's gone sideways.
Well, yeah, because they're no longer controlling the narrative. That is where the challenge is. They are not controlling the narrative anymore. Controlling the narrative is effective. Why do I want to control the narrative? Because your Muppet sorry ass has no concept about how to deal with it effectively. So of course I'm going to control the narrative. It's much easier that way.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to get really good at, satellite communications because I got a feeling it's going to be one of the only viable communications mediums.
No, but
Smart move.
there's a bunch of, we make a whole bunch of assumptions. We assume that the motives are what you're proposing that they are, which they're not.
Right.
And we're assuming that it's going to be used in the way it's going to be used, which it's not.
Right.
Because I agree, if there was actually somebody who I could trust, somebody who was unbiased, who wasn't out there to take advantage of me or stay in power,
Yeah.
that would use this information for the right purposes, I would sign up in a heartbeat. But that person doesn't exist. I mean, not here.
And I think that's unfortunately where it falls down. And it sucks because you could literally have your cake and eat it. You could have your freedom without accountability if you were willing, with knowledge or without knowledge, to let somebody, how should we say, guide in an effective and, to your point, non-biased, non-totalitarian way.
Well, and people were willing to
I hate
be
to go
guided. They have the iPhone. It guides them all the time. The problem is it's being used to guide them in the wrong direction, into hate,
People are
into
fucking
division,
sellouts.
into or the Android. I don't want to just single out Apple, the smartphone.
Well, smartphone is Apple. I mean, Android isn't smart. It's as dumb as a box of rocks. And I mean, it's,
Tell that to my 0 day.
1 0 day. How many 0 days is Android?
I only need one.
Yeah, well, that is true. But it'll
The
get
right
sorted out.
one.
The mothership will sort it out.
Kernel.
Yeah, I know.
This isn't like a little sissy 0 day where it's like, ooh,
Whatever.
naked baby.
It sucks when the toolbox gets exposed, doesn't it? It's like, fuck, another one just got let loose.
No, I don't want to go to jail. This is what I have to tell people all the time. They're like,
press charges.
Do it. Yeah, no.
They don't hold people accountable for this shit.
They arrest teenagers and then data breaches happen hours later.
Right? Because they got the wrong fucking teenager.
All right, so let's get back to this. Let's talk about freedom and responsibility a little bit more. Let's talk about one of our Eastern friends and our colleagues, otherwise known as China.
Fuck.
They got the model right. I'm gonna argue this one.
No, God.
Oh, buddy. Buddy.
God,
Oh,
fucking A.
man.
Yeah, they care.
Yeah.
The model right.
Oh.
They have the population.
Not the model right.
They have the population living
China,
in fear.
bunch of fucking they're mindless. They're like drones.
No.
Oh
I'll actually
God.
argue that. They're not mindless. They're not drones. They have their responsibility.
Desensitized. They can walk right by a dead person, like right there, and be like,
Yeah, so can people.
I don't even notice it.
So can
So
people.
love? Where's love?
There's love. There's love. I mean, there's not enough.
Where? In China?
Yes. Come on. Take
love for the party.
Love is what
there better be lots of love for the party.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Because family members are turning in family members. So it's love of the party and it's love what the government tells you is love.
Yep.
Not what it actually is.
Oh, you better do what you told.
Soulless
soulless
fucking existence.
Yeah, they do have a few cameras over there now.
A few?
Holy shit. But you know what?
Just to keep an eye on things.
What country in the world has more cameras per capita?
I think England. I actually think the
United States.
See, we did it different. Yeah,
Chris, the world.
Private.
The UK at one point in time was like surveillance nation. I think you're right. US is doing an interesting job of
We
it.
lead the world in camera surveillance.
Yep. But it's all private.
Yeah,
Well,
right. Private.
Private
Oh.
on that internets that we share.
oh, man.
Oh
On
man.
the
Well,
wise
here's
side.
the deal. So you go back to freedom. So freedom, what is freedom? I think freedom is what society, because okay, so it's like different pods of what society is. In my house, there's a society, right? This is how we do things in this house. Outside of that, there's the next level of society, my town, right? There's norms, there's some written laws, some unwritten laws, whatever.
Mhm.
That's, we define together as a community what freedom actually is. And then you go, further and you keep going out until, that's what freedom is. And as long as you play within the rules that this construct created, you get all the freedom in the world within those constructs. You go outside of those constructs, you're supposed to be held accountable. And that's where society that's where society starts to crumble, is when we no longer do that.
Right.
Because now nobody really knows what's freedom and what's not, what's acceptable and what's not. Because it's acceptable over here, but fuck, it's not over here. It's acceptable if you're this person, but it's not if you're this person. So I think we got ourselves into this really shitty situation where nobody really knows what the fuck freedom is, and nobody really knows what accountability is.
Aziz Ansari, I don't know if you guys are a fan of his comedy, did a recent stand-up, and in it he said some poignant stuff. So two things he said: post-pandemic, the world's the same way it was, just a little bit more shitty. And I couldn't disagree with that. I was like, yeah, all right. But the second was, he brought attention to the audience of the fact that this hate, this division, this way in which we see the world, whether it's positive or negative, is influenced by the algorithm that we're exposed to. And which algorithm I get, and the one you get, and the one Chris gets, and the one the listeners get, all different. And we've shown this on the show. We get different news results from the same Google, depending on where we are, depending on what we've liked, what we haven't liked. So we're not seeing. Part of why I think there's the we can't get on the same page a lot of times is we're not seeing the same truth. We're not seeing the same reality. When we go to the quote unquote trusted news source, we're literally getting different viewpoints of the same story.
Right. And I brought this up before too in previous episodes. Like, I always ask myself, cui bono? Cui bono is a legal term in Latin for who benefits. Who benefits from that? Who benefits from what you just stated, which is, I mean, I don't know how we could disagree that it's not true. Who benefits? The people in power.
Mm-hmm.
The people who can manipulate that. Not me. I don't benefit. You don't benefit.
Sorry. By power, we're not talking government. We're talking Facebook.
I don't know.
Tech and various other. To me,
How is that different?
I'm gonna put it differently.
Where did Google Earth come from?
Yeah, I know, but that's Google Earth. That's one thing. Well, let's talk
Sure.
Facebook.
Where did Facebook's primary funding source come from?
That was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was before they went to the stock market. Now
the chickens don't come home to roost.
I'm just saying, you're saying these things are separate. And I mean, in QTEL, Pokemon Go, anyone remember Pokemon Go?
I do.
Come on, it was
Definitely not the largest intelligence gathering operation of internal structure and profiling of background imagery ever conducted in the history of the country, funded by InQtel. And if you don't know who they are, you should Google them.
While you're at it, you might as well Google Paladin and just be done with it.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I played the shit out of that one. So you're welcome, Uncle Sam. Where's my fucking check?
My Rugrat played it for a while, and I did have to explain a few things, but and we did.
Like, don't turn that on in my house. Don't turn that on outside. Don't you dare use that app at all, because that was the conversation.
Where's my check?
But now everybody okay. So that was one way of doing it. Now let's fast forward. I mean, Roomba sends all the damn house plans to the internet. We have every single electronic device, which let's face it, we can map the entire house through those devices. I mean, We've done it to ourselves again.
But
Yes.
do people really
I
know that
can't
it's happened?
I can't
Well,
trust
Chris,
you.
Chris, and you brought up a really wise point. I think it was really wise because I use this all the time, and I used it actually with the management team down here a couple nights ago. You don't go from here to here overnight. It's a series of small compromises that you make, right? A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Next thing you know, you're so far off the path, and by the time you realize it, how the fuck did I get over here?
Right.
It's too late.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so,
People. Sorry, go on.
no, and so that's the thing is I don't like when people compromise. Don't fucking compromise. Period.
But you're not compromising if I'm enabling you with more tech and more interesting stuff. I mean, Ryan hit one of the interesting nails on the head with Pokemon Go. I mean, there's so many others. We've okay, let's go back to the agency days. Let's go back to the 40s and 50s. I mean, there's a cartoon out there somewhere that somebody has got, the CIA agents from 40s and 50s going, I wish we could bug all the houses. What have we've done it to ourselves, but we haven't done it because it's enabled us, it's helped us, it's given us the ability to go, hey, Google, Siri, whatever, play this and play that. And we have been given more freedom. We have been given more
No,
ability.
that's the great big lie, man.
Have we though?
Uh-oh.
Have we
That's
though?
what I'm saying. We've given up the great big lie.
You guys know what you're looking at?
I think this has been
I
the world's largest social engineering experiment ever.
Oh, which one is that one?
That is the prison. So this is a prison yard. This is the cell block.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look, there's me. I can see myself. I'm right there. I'm the guy over there.
Right here? That's you? Or are you this guy over here?
No, I'm the guy in the gun turret. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, and we've tried so hard, the three of us. We've poured our life into this. I love you guys because I know you're in this business for the right reasons. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. We've tried so hard to help educate people to use your technology responsibly. Use it responsibly. And I'll keep fighting this because I will die on this hill and I don't give a shit. Everybody should choose a hill that they're willing to die on because that's their purpose in life. Right? Figure out what your hill is. This is the hill I'm willing to die on. This is the hill that's been put in front of me. This is the hill I've been called to fight on. And so I won't give up fighting for that. But at the same time, like you said, Chris, this job gets harder and harder and harder because on the other side, we don't hold the others accountable who keep feeding this shit to the people we're trying to protect. Oh, you need more blinky lights. You need more blinky lights. Here's some false fucking advertising because I can't sell it to you in any other way. What the fuck are we going to do about that? And when are we going to stand up as a collective and say, no, stop the fucking shit. You don't need anything more. You don't know how to use what you're using today responsibly. The worst thing to do is add more shit to it. Use your fucking brain. Stop relying on the iPhone to do your fucking branding for you. You got one, use it. And if we need to be that fucking blunt with that. We need to be that blunt with the people who are selling shit. We need to fucking put them out of business. Not just here's a fine. Fuck you. You took advantage of people, and this is a service business where we're supposed to be protecting people. We can't operate in this business anymore. Just like in financial services. If I were to sell you stock, right? If you're an older person, and I sold you penny stocks, you'd yank my license. I would no longer be able to, sell stocks anymore.
And I'm not against that.
It's the same kind of fucking thing. And it wouldn't take long before the word spreads, man, where people won't fucking play this fucking game anymore. And then we've got a level playing field and I can start fucking actually making a difference.
I'm all for licensure. I'm all for if a vendor makes a product that is going to be relied upon to, deliver critical functions, there should be a higher standard, but we already have them. Like, I'm definitely not advocating for new. Please, let's just apply the existing mountain of legislative precedent we already have to our industry.
Right.
There's rules for manufacturing and safety. There's rules for things that the public consumes. There's rules for, there's all this accountability, if you will, already baked into our society for all the other structures. And I advocate for this every talk I give. Please don't treat this as separate from the rest of life. Please add this to the, I know it's the newest bullet point on the list. Money's been with us a long time, right? Relationships have been with us a long time. We've had all these things, food safety, granted it's evolved over the years. Grandma would cut the green part off. We don't do that at my house. Our society doesn't operate that way, but it's already all there. We've got to do that. We've got to build a bridge with the people. Remember, these business leaders are business leaders. They're people. They're just people. They're not techs. Our tribe is a small tribe. The average guy, gal, they, them, whoever they are that runs a business is very knowledgeable in what they're knowledgeable in to be successful in that business. They don't know this stuff.
Here's the problem. And Gary said it a little bit further up. You're going to interrupt the flow of money.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
That's not going to be allowed to happen.
No, it must be allowed to happen. Because otherwise, why the fuck are we here? Why the fuck are we here?
Money.
I will fucking
freedom,
fight
freedom.
this.
Give me money,
I don't
I
give
get
a
my
shit.
freedom.
I will die on this fucking hill.
Give
I
me
will
money, I
die.
get my freedom. I have my freedom now. I
Fuck
don't
your
have
money.
To be accountable. I don't have to be accountable. I have monies.
No, you don't.
How much is your soul? How much is your soul worth?
Have you guys seen the chart? Yeah, the good question.
I actually know how much hang on.
How much?
So at the time, when we were talking last week before, there were three verbal offers. There were three offers I was considering. Going
For your
to
soul?
Hang on. There were three offers. One of them was with a very well-known networking company that does interesting stuff. And that offer over 4 years would have paid the best part of 2.5 to 3 million. And for that, I would have had to have been on the road as their global advocate for acronyms and all sorts of other things. So I know, because I didn't take it and I told them thanks, but no thanks, that I know at least my value of my soul is a little bit more than that. Now, the big database company that couldn't get their shit together, unfortunately, which was a shame because it was actually kind of a fun one, was a chunk less than that. And ironically enough, the hypersonic lawn dart is actually a chunk less than that. So I know the value of mine, and I know mine is happier, honestly, where I'm going to be, as opposed to spending the 2.5 to 3, which would have paid the extra hell off, but I would have literally had to have sold my soul to do that job, quite probably.
Well, there's two things I really love about you, Chris. I mean, honestly, as a brother, and I'll give a fuck who's listening and watching on the show. Number one is we won't sell out. You know what I mean? We're not sellouts.
Right.
I've made that point clear in my own life. I don't know how many times, because you have people all the time offering you, hey, you entertaining offers. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not in. But then they always circumvent you and go to your CFO or somebody else. But that's number one. Number two, the thing I love about you is I think how far how much more you're going to learn, because I can tell you in a heartbeat what my soul is worth. Nothing you could ever pay.
That's a good
Nothing.
way. Yeah, it's a good way.
Zero. You could pay me. You give me the entire fucking planet. Not enough, because my soul isn't owned by that. You know what I mean? I don't want to get religious.
Oh, I could do a lot with the planet. Could I at least have the planet for a day? Let me just have the planet. A couple of days. Can I kidnap it for a couple of days? I promise I'll give it back mostly the same way.
Right. So knowing that's us, that we won't sell out.
Right.
We need to find more people who won't sell out.
Right.
More people who will die on this hill. More people who do believe that information security isn't about information or security as much as it is about people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here to defend people, to serve people. And here's the fucking wacky ass thing about this that people don't understand, at least the people that are out there taking shortcuts and making quick bucks, is you focus on the mission, you will make money. You
Yeah,
will. I mean, I'm making more money today than I ever dreamed possible.
mm-hmm.
I've never sold out. I never will. Call me to the fucking carpet if you think I have.
Right.
Because I made a mistake and I need to be corrected. You know, talk about accountability.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to complain. I mean, the lawn dart folks have done very, I mean, I will not complain. It's a very, very nice offer. And if the company kicks ass, which I'm going to do sure as hell, do my level best to make sure they do, then there's some longer term stuff in there, which is kind of cool. But you know, it's interesting because I did take that step back and I'm like, could I really see myself stood up on the podium doing that and then coming sitting here on Thursdays? No, how about we go with that one? Now the database folks I think would have been okay because that was actually kind of cool. That would have actually been helping clients and doing some pretty cool stuff, actually some really, really cool stuff. But unfortunately the mothership calleth and they have to come, they had to come to heel, which sucks, especially when you're led to believe that they're free and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, freedom, accountability. So no, that's
one thing that, oh, sorry, man.
No, I was just going to say I get to apply the freedom accountability thing inside the lawn dart one, which is going to be kind of fun. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Richie said it, the Grey Matter Society thing.
Well, and that's one of the things that really, and it restricts your ability to do a bunch of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure,
totally.
you could go stand up on the stage at RSA. You could go, be, I'm not going to mention names, Kevin Mitnick, and, do all kinds of cool things, and be known and be famous. But that's not the fucking point. I give two shits about being famous. I give two shits about how much money I make. I give two shits about being on the stage at RSA unless it serves the fucking mission. If it doesn't serve the mission, I don't give two shits about it. I'll continue to solve problems. I'll continue to help people. And I want more people to be like this. I want more people. And the reason why I'm saying this isn't because I want you any of your fucking respect either. I'm saying this because if anybody's listening and like, hey, I feel this too, be bold. Go this route. We need more people that are here to serve people because that's the only way we're going to fix this. You have to see through the bullshit. Big tech is the fucking problem. The government is the fucking problem. And the reason why they're the problem is because they don't have your best interests at heart. The only people that will have your best interests at heart is you. You're the CEO of your own fucking house. I'm not. I don't get to define what the fucking rules are for who gets to use what technology gets to get plugged into your fucking home network, what your kids get to go surf on. I don't define those fucking rules. You do. And until you step up and take responsibility for that, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, we have a long way to go. Unfortunately, we have a long, long way to go.
But we're fighting, man. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of my buddy Ryan over here, because I would have given up 1,000 times without support of other people.
I think it's a tough one though, because it feels very much. I mean, that's part of the reason I put the post out. Part of the reason that we're doing the episode this evening is it is that damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of mentality. There is no, on this particular one, there is no easy answer.
Most of the fun problems don't have easy answers.
No, but for goodness sakes, it would be nice to have a decent pathway for once in a freaking change. I mean,
Chris, man, dude, I wish some of these things would have been recorded. I've had like these, oh my God, like with God, because I believe it's true, I believe in him and everything. And I've been like, all right, if this is the fucking mission, why the fuck do you make it so goddamn hard?
Right, yeah.
Why don't you just think it into existence and it's fucking done? No. Let's not do that. Instead, let's make Evan suffer. Let's make Evan's blood pressure go through the fucking roof. Let's make Evan, oh my God. I hear you, man. And that's the thing. I think sometimes we're pushed to that point because in hindsight, those times, those points have been growing times and points for me. I've learned that I can only control what I can control. I can only do what I can do. And, you know, and a lot of times it's like, I think God, you know, like we've talked about, just shut up. I think a lot of times I'm told that. I think I'm told God just tells me, hey, why don't you just shut up? Go take a nap. I got this. And it's weird. I mean, I don't want to get all, I already got all religious, but that's the only thing that really gets me through.
I value the fact that the pair of you have a belief, and I actually respect it a lot. I see what it does, and I also appreciate the fact that you are more than happy for me to be wandering in an entirely strange path on my own. So I actually appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot because I've known too many other people who are not, how should we say, are not as accepting. And so I appreciate it a ton, and I like it, and it's kind of nice. And I also see what it does for the pair of you, and I kind of like
that's
it.
what love is. Yeah.
I appreciate it. No, it's kind of cool. Yeah. No, it would be nice to actually.
Well, and I do love you.
It would be nice to have the keys to the snowplow or the bulldozer every now and again. That would just be the one thing, you know, for whichever deity is actually responsible for this goodness knows shenanigans. A set of keys every now and again wouldn't say no to, even if we can just borrow them for a short period of time. Promise I'll give it back with, and I fill the tank up as well. Oh dear. All right. How are we doing time-wise? We're getting close.
I have the same. If it's consolation, and I have the same temptations you do. Like I would love to blow fucking half this planet off the face of the earth, man. I'm so fucking tired of this times. You know, and that was part of the reason for setting up the security shit show to begin with. I needed somebody to keep me from doing that because I have the ability to do it in some cases. You know,
easy.
And
yeah.
I know it's not going to help people.
I was.
I showed Shodan today to school people because they don't know, and I showed them password. I just default credential. That's all I did. Default credential, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?" And then I showed them what it was on. It took them right up to the login, and then said, "Okay, there it is." Don't put in the credentials, that crosses the line, but there it is.
Yeah, no, it's
and there's, I mean, but that's what we're up against. Like seriously, if we could, I don't know, in the next year, make it to where default credential of password doesn't show up on Shodan, I think we will have made huge strides.
Well, and so this goes back to okay, now we go freedom versus accountability time. So why should not, again, slide devil's advocate, why shouldn't I want to use password? Why shouldn't I use password on my systems? It's easy, it's simple, I can remember it.
Because if you don't use one at all, they'll sit there and try to brute force something that's not there.
Right.
Because you might as well not have one at all. If you're gonna go with password, just don't even bother. You'll actually fool half the attackers because they're gonna be looking for a password.
Something harder, I know. Yeah. And I think that's where it gets frustrating. So then now you got to go back to the source. Now you got to go back to development engineering and say, hey, y'all love you dearly, but let's have a conversation about what gets coded in and how. Then you got to go forward to the vendors and suppliers and say, hey, when you install it, you got to be more effective at it. I mean, there's so many layers to this darn thing.
Well, that's because it's the whole world.
I know.
It's because we literally forklifted life into a cell phone. Sorry, what?
Here's the big lie too, right? People say only idiots actually believe that convenience and security are contradictory to each other. Who came up with that? Because
I don't know, but that's
convenience. I can still live a very convenient life and use the technology I use responsibly.
Totally. If you're willing to put some time and effort in,
if I take
accountability.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
The same way I put on pants every day, you know what I mean? I'm accountable for making sure that they're fucking latched and I got a belt on because I'm too fat.
All right. So why?
You know what I
okay,
mean? So they don't fall down. I mean, you do have to take the proper steps.
so why is that? Okay. So let's take a step back on
Am
this.
I too fat?
No. Believe me, I put way back on, and I'm pissed at myself. Long conversation on that one. But why? Why is that? Why have we gotten to a point where we don't have the driver's license? We don't have a. Why do we let everybody run rampant on the system? Yet, to your point, you can't walk out of your house with your freaking underpants on and not get yelled at, for goodness sakes.
Because we don't have the social norm. We don't have the social norm. So one of the analogies I use is an unpatched device, or in human speak, an unupdated device, because it doesn't say Apple has a new patch for your phone. It says update, right? But an unupdated device is equal to not being properly dressed in public.
Yeah.
And we have to make it that important and that common of a social norm. What you doing run around the internet naked? Knock it off. Ain't nobody trying to see all that. Put it away. It's what we do in physical society. There is a norm. Do people still go outside naked? Yes. There's a man named Evan running around naked in Mexico, right? No pants.
No, but you do that up here, then there are consequences.
Correct. And there's an understanding that that's a social norm. We need social norms. And unfortunately, all of them were formed with peer pressure, which is something we currently choose not to apply in healthy ways. Now it's the hate brigade. Oh, I must have lost signal. But we have the hate brigade instead of the social pressure in a healthy way that says, no, that's not appropriate. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We need to have that be part of the way manufacturers are held accountable, the way the users are held accountable for their safe operation of the shared digital space. See, we don't treat my phone use in the bathroom as I'm swiping and wiping as being impactful to anybody else, because we don't understand that we're in a shared space. Yeah. And we don't behave the same way in a public bathroom as we do our private bathroom. Strangely enough, the opposite is true. We behave worse in public bathrooms than we do. But nonetheless, it's, for me, it's the social norm piece. And until we crack that egg, where we've set up that social norm structure, that expectation that you will be having your device kept up to date. Now, as a consumer, if you sold me a device, what the hell do I have to keep it up to date for? Unless it's like when you sold me a car and it's like an understanding that I now have to go and get the oil change. And if I don't, it breaks. Well, guess what? If your device is out of update, maybe it should be denied access to the internet and only allowed to connect to the update server. But I don't consider that an erosion of freedom. I consider that the way the product functions.
Yeah, I mean, we've had that.
That's a very different conversation.
Yeah.
What, Ev? Are you there? Are you back?
No, yeah, man. Sorry. Internet, Mexican internet. How difficult would it be to code? And I already know the answer to this. How difficult would it be to code into your application that if you haven't updated it, it will be disabled?
Not hard at all.
Two lines of code and one lookup. I mean, 2 lines of code and a lookup. That's it.
Exactly. And that would be responsible.
Yeah.
Yep. And I don't have a problem with that being a requirement, because that's not burdensome or cumbersome on them at all.
Well, you have, there used to be, I know there was a big trend, because I remember doing it at a couple of the companies where if you brought in, this was the BYOD days, if you brought in a device and plugged it in, the first thing it did was check, it put you on your own separate VLAN, checked whether you were patched, and if you were, great, and if you weren't, your ass is in the sheep dip until you get your ass together.
Yep. I don't have a problem with any of that. I don't think that's erosion of freedom. That's just the way it works.
Interesting.
But instead, what are we pushing? We're pushing, hey, zero trust.
Right.
Which I don't disagree with. What I disagree with is zero trust is a marketing fucking term. Forrester came up with it. Give me a fucking break.
We've always talked about
default denial.
Well, right. There was somebody in a room that said, how do we combat 0 days? And some marketing dude jumped up and went, zero trust.
Zero trust.
No, I know exactly who it is. And if you can find him on LinkedIn, because he touts the fact, because pride is a thing, that he invented zero trust.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, look him up. You'll find him.
I'm doing it now.
He invented zero trust.
Really?
And, oh yeah.
Did he partner with Al Gore and pioneer the internet while he was at it too?
Right.
Good Lord.
So that's another frustration that we have to fight against. So I think for us to solve this problem, we have to identify all the hurdles that we need to overcome, propose solutions that are doable for one, and that are, let's start easing things back. So I think, one is responsible application development. We know that I knew you would. We knew that we couldn't, we will never be able to create an application without bugs.
Correct.
We're humans. That's just the way it works. So therefore, what fallbacks, what fail safes do I have in place in my application for that? One would be, and I just mentioned it, if you don't patch your application to disable. So Chrome, thank you for all the fucking updates in the last month. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Why don't you just disable my browser until I update?
Because then I couldn't advertise to you, Evan.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have a confession to make. Not only do I know it. What was that?
I said your Chrome browser's out of date.
Chrome my ass, as if I'd let that shit anywhere near.
Opera.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. No, a little bit better, a little bit more together, and I can actually manage it and secure it a little bit more effectively. All right. So that individual.
He coded his own browser.
What was that?
You coded your own browser. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I would like to do that. I should do that.
So John, I actually not only do I know him, he was actually on a webinar with Gabrielle when we were actually trying to demystify what the hell it actually is versus what it was and what it should be versus what it's become. It's actually a rather fascinating conversation. So all of the, what's the word I'm looking at? All the ego and stuff aside and all that craziness, which does frustrate the hell out of me. It was actually an interesting conversation, a little frustrating in some ways because it was a little look at me, but it was still a good conversation.
Yeah. I just think there's a lot of things we can do if we get a little creative to actually solve the accountability issue. And maybe we have to go back channel. We can't go directly to the FTC because maybe they're already compromised. Maybe they already have the, lobbyists are in the back pocket. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We have, gents, we are reaching the top of the hour. Just a quick heads up on this one.
Yeah, wrap it. It's been a long day for me. I will say in closing, the folks I'm talking to that I think are leading the way in their security programs are focusing very heavily on the fundamentals, but they're taking it to that next level, which is what's the application made of, right? What's the BOM? What's in the soup? Am I able to patch components? How am I taking in my code updates? What are my control groups around my software intake and update? Because that's going to be the next big threat area, right? As we start walling off things, as the automated IP list, sharing becomes more frequent, more high speed, it's what's coming into that code base, right? And by the way, devs, before you push your next update, guess what you could include in it? You could include a lookup to say, if the version number is not current, pop a message that says, please install patch, or, if you want to get fancy, install it for them. And then you can let them back on the internet.
The sad thing about that is the compromised repositories too, though. I mean, things have become so fucking complicated.
That's why the next hot area in security is how am I managing all this open source fucking disaster I've introduced, whether that's through a paid product that I believe to be proprietary, but really is just a cobbled together set of GitHubs.
Do you remember
I'm
the day?
paying a gajillion dollars in licenses because I don't know it's nothing more than a cobbled together set of GitHubs.
Right.
It
No,
fucking frustrates the shit out of me, dude. Because I remember when we wrote code from scratch, we actually wrote our own fucking libraries, our own code. We didn't have all this shit. Man, it was so much easier to secure it. Now I don't know how you fucking secure it.
Without, well, it's like a EULA. If you don't read it, you don't know what's in it. And nobody is reading all the lines of code in that class library they just grabbed for one fucking function with 500,000 other capabilities in it.
Stop it. You make me want to give up. I don't want to give up.
all right.
So that's my closing. What do you guys got?
Evan, what you got?
I think from two perspectives, number one, I'm not an overly, I'm a realist, right? I'm not an optimist other than being realist. We can win this, but it's going to take us to come together. We're going to have to, these frustrations. One of the things we hear all the time about the security shit show is how people watch us and be like, oh, finally, I was afraid to say that, or I didn't want to say that. Well, here you go. I'm saying it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hill. I don't mind dying on this hill. I'd rather not die because life is all right, but I will. I've committed my life to this. I want to make things better. And so what do we need to do to make things better? Well, to Chris's point, I love the fact that, because accountability is such a jam for me. You got to hold people accountable. And it's not just the users. I'm tired of us fucking beating on the users. We're the ones who gave them these fucking applications. We're the ones who delivered these fucking emails and didn't give them, even if we gave them good direction, at the end of the day, who fucking put that mail in their inbox? It was us. We did it. And then on the other side, the shit code that's being developed all over the fucking place, shortcuts, get to market. And at the same time, no accountability for it, no accountability for marketing in many places. But there are some good marketing teams. It seems like a very complex problem, but I think if you break it down into its less complex components, focus on those, we can make a difference. So one of the things that and we'll work on this, my life will shift here pretty soon, FR Secure, I'm a coach. They don't need me. I love that actually. That's every good leader should love that. You should love the fact that they don't need you anymore because it's like, oh fuck. So I can do a hobby or something. What the fuck hobby would I do? Well, I'll try scuba diving maybe, or I don't know, sex, my wife, because I haven't met her for a while. Whatever it is, so I'm moving to this new transition, and the transition is going to be Gray Matter Society, and what its purpose is going to be, and it's not coincidental. It happened a year ago here in Puerto Vallarta. We talked about, well, the only way we're going to make change is if we all band together. That's what I heard from my two most trusted, advisors here. I'm like, well, fuck, all right, let's build it. I'm a guy who wants to solve problems. I'm not a guy who wants to sit here and just fuck around. A guy who just wants to twiddle his thumbs. I want to solve problems. So the Gray Matter Society, its entire fucking purpose is to solve problems together. No bias, no money. We're going to do it because we fucking give a shit. We're willing to die on this hill. So I don't know. It's a whole bunch of talking. I guess the point is we can win. I believe in it, and it takes commitment. We're going to win. And on the other side, it all comes down to accountability, man. I love the fact that Chris brought this up because accountability, freedom, yeah, fuck, I can't control that. But what I can control is some accountability, and I'm going to beat the fuck out of people for that.
Nice, and appreciated. So I'm going to end with the one sentence that I ended the blog post with. which is, we want to fight for our freedom. Everybody wants to beat their chest over and go, I need my freedom, I want my freedom, I defend my freedom. But with that freedom comes responsibilities and accountability in both the physical and digital realms. And that's it. That's all I got to say. So this has been, it's actually been a really interesting evening, and I appreciate it. Gents, very, very gratefully appreciate it. And also, I'm really glad to be able to share the news as well. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's nice. You are the first from the public domain by far, far, far and away. And friends, and there's like 3 other people that know. That's it.
I truly love you guys. You guys are my support. There are days when you really want to give up.
No,
And you come these Thursday nights, mean a lot to me because I can look you guys in the face virtually. I can talk to you. You can talk to me, and it keeps me going. So it means the world to me. I love you guys dearly. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
I love you guys too. Hey, I want pictures of amazing scenery and gorgeous backgrounds and watery stuff and everything.
I bought myself a GoPro, so I'm such a. I realized I was watching the videos online. I am a damn novice, man. I was watching the videos. I'm like, okay, honey, I'm sorry. I don't know why the fuck we went this. Okay, yeah, it's jiggling a little bit. Well, okay, but you had to be there. It was awesome. Fucking believe me. Like,
it's 45 minutes of his flipper.
Basically, yeah. Well, and you have dive buddies, right? So we're diving as a team of 3, and so there's a lead, right? And so yeah, half of the fucking video is his ass. I'll send you some stuff, man. Damn it.
That's awesome.
You guys
have fun. Enjoy the hell out of it, please. We're living vicariously through you. You realize that, don't you?
Well, now that you say it, yeah, I do. I mean, I love you guys dearly. You guys mean the world to me, so thank you.
Same goes.
Thank
All right,
you.
love you, brothers. Take care.
Love you guys. Have a good night.
You travel safe as well. All right, have a good evening. Take care, everybody.